Can love truly be the source of emotional peace, or does it often lead to turmoil? Many people experience moments of deep connection and joy in pursuing love, but they also face emotional challenges, doubts, and conflicts. Love, while beautiful, can often stir intense emotions, jealousy, frustration, and even fear. So, can love be the source of lasting emotional peace, or does it inevitably lead to turmoil? Promise. This video will explore how Stoicism offers powerful tools to develop emotional resilience in love and relationships. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that values emotional control, rational thinking, and personal growth, teaches us how to cultivate peace amid emotional chaos. Rather than relying on external circumstances or our partner's actions to dictate our emotional state, Stoicism offers practices that allow us to manage our responses and maintain balance within ourselves. By the end of this video, you will learn Stoic principles that can help you develop emotional resilience in relationships. These tools can help you face challenges without being overwhelmed by them, guiding you toward deeper emotional stability and healthier, more fulfilling connections. You'll understand how to build stronger emotional foundations in love based on inner peace and rational thought, not on perfect circumstances. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic wisdom can help transform your approach to love and relationships. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, is renowned for its emphasis on resilience, emotional control, and rational thinking. Though it originated over 2,000 years ago, its principles are still remarkably relevant today, especially when it comes to navigating our emotional lives. In a world filled with uncertainties, rapid change, and complex relationships, Stoicism offers a practical framework for maintaining inner peace and emotional stability. In modern relationships, love is often accompanied by emotional challenges, misunderstandings, expectations, insecurities, and fears. These emotions can create turbulence, leaving us feeling uncertain or overwhelmed. The very emotions that can make love beautiful can also stir up frustration, jealousy, and doubt, leading to moments of inner conflict. Navigating these ups and downs is difficult, and sometimes it feels like our emotional well-being is completely at the mercy of our partner or circumstances. This is where Stoicism provides a powerful tool. By focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, Stoicism teaches us to manage our emotions and find peace within ourselves. Instead of letting our feelings of love, hurt, or anger control us, Stoic practices guide us to a place of emotional balance, clarity, and resilience. In this video, we will uncover Stoic wisdom to help you navigate emotional turbulence in relationships. You'll discover how Stoicism can lead you to emotional strength and healthier, more harmonious connections with your partner. Understanding emotions from a Stoic perspective. In Stoic philosophy, emotions are seen as natural responses to external events, but they are not inherently negative. Rather, emotions are the result of our judgments about these events. The Stoics, such as Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, taught that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our perception and interpretation of those events. Emotions, according to Stoicism, are closely linked to our beliefs and judgments about what is happening around us. When we react emotionally, it is often because we view the situation as either good or bad, desirable or undesirable. For example, if we feel hurt by a partner's actions, it's because we have judged their behavior as a threat to our emotional well-being. Similarly, feelings of joy arise when we interpret an event as beneficial or aligned with our desires. Stoics argue that these emotions are not inherently bad, but they can lead to destructive outcomes if we allow them to control us without examining the judgments behind them. The Stoic view on emotions emphasizes that we have the power to control our responses by altering our judgments. Rather than suppressing emotions, Stoicism suggests that we challenge the beliefs that fuel them. For instance, if we feel anger towards a partner, we can pause to examine the judgment that led to that anger. Perhaps we believe the partner has wronged us or disrespected us. Stoicism teaches that we can choose to see these events through a different lens, perhaps recognizing that people act according to their own perspectives and struggles, and not necessarily with the intention to harm us. A central tenet of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which divides life into two categories: what is within our control and what is beyond our control. This principle is fundamental in managing emotions. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control the actions of others, the external events in our lives, or the emotions that arise in response to them, we do have control over how we respond. Our judgments and reactions, how we choose to interpret events and what we focus on, are entirely within our power. For example, if a partner says something hurtful, we cannot control their words, but we can control our reaction. We can choose to view their words as an opportunity to understand their point of view, rather than an attack on our worth. By focusing on what is in our control, our judgment and response, we can prevent emotions from spiraling into turmoil and instead foster emotional resilience and peace. In relationships, this Stoic approach encourages emotional maturity and self-control. By practicing self-awareness and regularly questioning our judgments, we can navigate emotional challenges with greater ease. This perspective not only helps in managing conflict, but also strengthens emotional bonds, as it encourages mutual understanding and a focus on what truly matters: our actions, responses, and the shared values that sustain the relationship. The importance of rational thought. In Stoic philosophy, rationality is the cornerstone of emotional well-being. The Stoics believed that our emotions arise from judgments, and those judgments can be influenced by irrational thinking. Therefore, cultivating rational thought is essential for managing our emotions effectively, especially in challenging or emotionally charged situations. Rational thought allows us to assess situations objectively without being overwhelmed by immediate emotional responses. It empowers us to pause, reflect, and choose a response based on reason rather than impulse or reactivity. This ability to detach from the emotional heat of a moment is central to Stoic practice. In emotional situations, the first step is recognizing that our initial emotional reactions are often based on assumptions, misinterpretations, or distorted thinking. The Stoics argued that our minds have the power to reframe these judgments and guide our emotional responses toward peace and clarity. One of the most valuable Stoic exercises in cultivating rational thought is mindfulness. Mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, involves observing our emotions without becoming attached to them. It's about acknowledging our feelings without letting them dictate our behavior or cloud our judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we create space between the stimulus, an event or situation, and our reaction, allowing us time to reflect and apply rational thought before responding. For example, in a situation where a partner says something hurtful, our initial emotional reaction might be anger or sadness. Stoicism teaches us to observe these emotions without identifying with them. We can pause, step back, and examine the thought patterns that led to the emotional response. Are we assuming the worst? Are we taking the partner's words personally? This awareness allows us to separate the emotion from the event and to choose a response that is more aligned with our values rather than being driven by unchecked emotion. Practical tips for applying rationality in emotionally charged situations include pause and breathe. When you feel a strong emotional reaction, take a deep breath and pause for a moment. This brief moment of silence gives you the time to detach from the emotion and observe it from a distance. Identify the judgment. Ask yourself, what judgment have I made that triggered this emotion? Is there an assumption about the situation or about the intentions of others that is fueling your emotional response? By identifying the judgment, you can challenge its validity and reframe the situation more rationally. Focus on what's within your control. Often, our emotional responses are fueled by things outside our control, such as other people's words or actions. In these moments, remind yourself of the dichotomy of control. You cannot control others, but you can control your reaction. This shift in focus can calm emotional turmoil and guide you toward rational responses. Ask yourself, what would a wise person do? The Stoics frequently ask themselves how a wise, virtuous person would respond to a situation. This exercise helps you step outside of your emotions and think rationally about how to behave in alignment with your higher values. Practice negative visualization. To avoid excessive attachment to outcomes, imagine worst-case scenarios. This helps you recognize that no matter what happens, you can handle it with composure. By mentally preparing for challenges, you reduce emotional reactivity and build resilience. In emotionally charged situations, applying rational thought isn't about suppressing feelings, but about channeling them effectively. The Stoics taught that emotions are natural, but it's our responsibility to direct them with wisdom and reason. By practicing mindfulness and rational reflection, we become better equipped to navigate emotional challenges, particularly in relationships, where irrational reactions can often lead to misunderstandings. Through Stoic exercises, we can develop emotional resilience, clarity, and peace, leading to healthier, more balanced relationships. Dealing with attachment and expectations. In Stoic philosophy, attachment and excessive expectations are viewed as sources of emotional disturbance. While love is a powerful and important emotion, Stoicism teaches that attaching our happiness to external circumstances or other people leads to vulnerability and suffering. This is particularly relevant in romantic relationships, where attachment can sometimes morph into unhealthy dependence and unrealistic expectations. The Stoic view on attachment Stoicism teaches that attachment, particularly when it becomes possessive or excessive, is a form of dependence on things outside of our control. According to the Stoics, attachment to people, outcomes, or possessions often clouds our judgment and reduces our ability to experience peace and contentment. By placing our happiness in the hands of others or external events, we give up our inner tranquility and set ourselves up for disappointment when those things inevitably change or fall short of our expectations. In romantic relationships, the Stoics advise that while love and affection are natural, attachment, where we derive our happiness solely from the other person, is dangerous. The Stoic goal is to love with a sense of independence, understanding that our partner's actions or feelings are not within our control. We can love them deeply, but we must also be prepared to release the attachment and maintain emotional self-sufficiency. The role of desires and managing them. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is understanding the difference between what we desire and what is truly necessary for a fulfilled life. Desires, when unchecked, can lead to frustration and disappointment, particularly when they become expectations. In love, this can manifest as desiring constant affirmation, validation, or a partner who meets every need. While it's natural to desire affection, attention, and care, when these desires become demands or conditions for happiness, they become a source of emotional turmoil. Stoics teach that the key to managing desires is not to suppress them, but to recognize them and understand their nature. Desire itself is not inherently negative. It is when we become attached to the outcome of fulfilling that desire that it causes distress. The Stoics encourage practicing moderation, acknowledging desires without allowing them to dominate our peace of mind. In a romantic relationship, this could mean wanting affection and care, but not relying on it as the only source of happiness or fulfillment. Techniques to practice. Non-attachment and cultivate a balanced perspective. Focus on what you can control. The dichotomy of control is a key Stoic practice. You cannot control how your partner feels, acts, or responds, but you can control your reactions and expectations. By focusing on what is within your control, your own thoughts, actions, and emotional responses, you free yourself from the burden of needing to control your partner's behavior. Practice negative visualization. This Stoic exercise involves imagining worst-case scenarios. In the context of a relationship, this means mentally preparing for the possibility that your partner may not always meet your expectations, or that the relationship could change. By acknowledging these possibilities, you can appreciate the relationship more fully without becoming overly attached to any specific outcome. This helps you approach love with a sense of acceptance and flexibility. Gratitude over expectation. Instead of expecting your partner to act in a certain way or provide specific outcomes, practice gratitude for what they offer. Cultivate a mindset of appreciating the present moment, what your partner does for you, and the qualities that make them unique. Gratitude helps reduce the sense of entitlement and lowers the pressure on the relationship. Mindful acceptance. Embrace the reality of imperfection. In Stoicism, the acceptance of what is, rather than what we wish it to be, is vital. Understand that your partner is human, just like you, and is bound to make mistakes, face struggles, or act in ways that might not always align with your desires. By accepting imperfection, you reduce the emotional turmoil that comes from unmet expectations. Cultivate emotional resilience. When attachment or expectations cause disappointment, Stoicism teaches us to accept these emotions without judgment. Instead of clinging to the desire for a specific outcome, practice emotional resilience by acknowledging and processing your feelings. This way, you can experience emotions without letting them control you, and you can respond to disappointments with calm and clarity. Shift from possessiveness to mutual respect. A Stoic approach to relationships encourages mutual respect and independence. Instead of seeing your partner as an object of attachment, view them as a fellow human being with their own life, needs, and desires. Encourage growth both within yourself and your partner, without trying to mold them into your ideal. This shift in perspective fosters a healthy, balanced relationship that values both love and personal autonomy. In summary, by practicing non-attachment and managing our desires and expectations, we create space for a deeper, more fulfilling relationship based on mutual respect, appreciation, and emotional resilience. Stoicism teaches that love should be rooted in self-sufficiency and mindfulness, not in clinging to outcomes or controlling the behavior of others. By embracing this philosophy, we can cultivate a love that is grounded in patience, understanding, and the acceptance of life's inherent uncertainties. Developing inner peace through self-awareness. Self-awareness is a powerful tool for achieving emotional resilience and cultivating inner peace, especially in the context of relationships and life's challenges. In Stoic philosophy, self-awareness is seen as a vital step towards understanding our thoughts, emotions, and reactions, allowing us to respond to external situations with clarity and composure, rather than being swept away by our impulses or external circumstances. Self-awareness as a tool for emotional resilience. At its core, Self-awareness involves the ability to observe our internal state without judgment, recognizing our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors as they arise. It allows us to understand why we feel the way we do, and to gain insight into how our beliefs and past experiences shape our reactions. When we become more aware of our emotional responses, we can take a step back and assess whether they are grounded in reality or if they are based on assumptions, biases, or past wounds. This practice of reflection is crucial for emotional resilience because it helps us avoid knee-jerk reactions and instead respond with reason and purpose. In relationships, self-awareness allows us to recognize when we're feeling triggered or upset and why those feelings arise. Rather than blaming the other person for our emotional state, self-awareness empowers us to take responsibility for our emotions and responses. By understanding ourselves, we can create a foundation of emotional stability, reducing the likelihood of misunderstandings and unnecessary conflicts. Through consistent practice, self-awareness becomes a reliable tool for developing resilience and peace in the face of external challenges. Developing an internal source of strength, independent of external relationships. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is that true peace comes from within. External factors, such as the behavior of others or the circumstances of our lives, are beyond our control, but our responses to them are entirely in our hands. By cultivating a sense of inner strength through self-awareness, we can avoid becoming overly dependent on external validation or the actions of others for our sense of well-being. Rather than relying on others to provide emotional stability or happiness, we begin to develop an internal reservoir of calm, knowing that we have the power to maintain our peace regardless of external chaos. This is where self-awareness plays a crucial role. It helps us recognize when we are depending too much on external sources of happiness or approval and guides us back to a place of inner balance. The Stoics emphasize that by focusing on our internal states and cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, and temperance, we create a strong foundation that does not fluctuate with the ups and downs of life. Exercises to strengthen self-awareness and emotional control. Journaling for reflection. Writing down your thoughts and emotions can help you process and understand them better. A simple practice is to reflect daily on your emotional experiences, what triggered certain feelings, how you responded, and what you could have done differently. Journaling can provide valuable insights into patterns of thought and behavior that may have gone unnoticed. Mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful exercise for increasing self-awareness. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts and emotions as they arise without judgment or attachment. This practice helps you build a deeper understanding of your inner world and teaches you to be present in the moment rather than being consumed by past regrets or future anxieties. The daily reflection exercise, a Stoic practice that fosters self-awareness, involves taking a moment at the end of each day to reflect on your actions and emotional reactions. Ask yourself, did I respond thoughtfully or did I react impulsively? What were my emotions and what were their triggers? This allows you to learn from your experiences and gradually improve your emotional responses. The practice of negative visualization. A key Stoic exercise for emotional resilience is negative visualization. This practice involves imagining worst-case scenarios in order to mentally prepare for potential challenges or disappointments. By doing so, you train yourself to remain calm and composed, regardless of what may occur. This helps you detach from the need to control outcomes and instead fosters acceptance and peace. Pause and breathe. When faced with a difficult situation or emotional trigger, the simple act of pausing and taking deep breaths can help you become more aware of your emotions. This brief pause allows you to detach from the immediate emotional reaction and choose a thoughtful, rational response instead. Over time, this practice enhances emotional control and helps to break automatic patterns of reactivity. Self-compassion practices. Cultivating self-awareness also involves being kind to yourself. When you notice negative self-talk or feelings of frustration, practice responding with compassion rather than judgment. Recognize that you are learning and growing, and that mistakes are part of the process. Self-compassion allows you to accept yourself as you are, with all your imperfections, while still striving to improve. Developing inner peace through self-awareness is a lifelong journey that requires consistent practice and reflection. By gaining a deeper understanding of our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, we can respond to life's challenges with greater resilience and clarity. Through Stoic practices like mindfulness, journaling, and reflection, we cultivate an inner strength that empowers us to navigate life's complexities with calmness and grace. As we continue to practice self-awareness, we create a foundation of emotional control that leads to greater peace, independence, and fulfillment in all areas of life. Cultivating love without loss of self. In modern relationships, it's easy to lose oneself in the process of loving another person. Often, we may find ourselves sacrificing our values, desires, or even our identity for the sake of love. However, Stoicism offers a powerful framework to cultivate love without compromising who we are. By maintaining emotional resilience, self-awareness, and clear boundaries, Stoics teach us that it is possible to engage in deep, meaningful love while preserving our sense of self. The Stoic approach to loving without losing oneself or compromising personal values. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the belief in living in accordance with nature, and for human beings, that means remaining true to our rational nature and virtues. Stoicism teaches that love should be rooted in wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, allowing us to love others without losing our own integrity. According to Stoic thought, love isn't about clinging to the other person or sacrificing oneself. It's about accepting the other person as they are, while maintaining one's own identity and principles. Stoics view love as a virtuous bond that enhances personal growth and emotional resilience, rather than something that demands self-sacrifice. In relationships, it is crucial to maintain personal boundaries and remain anchored in one's values. The Stoics emphasize that we cannot control others, only our reactions to them. Loving someone without losing yourself means maintaining a sense of independence and self-respect, ensuring that the love you share is healthy and balanced. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and emotional responses, you remain rooted in your own identity while nurturing the connection with your partner. How to maintain emotional boundaries while being fully present in love. In Stoicism, emotional boundaries are vital to emotional well-being. Being fully present in a relationship doesn't mean being overly absorbed by the other person's emotions or needs. Instead, it involves maintaining a balanced presence, where both partners support each other's growth without over-relying on one another for validation or emotional fulfillment. One key Stoic practice for maintaining emotional boundaries is mindfulness. By practicing awareness of your emotions and recognizing when you are starting to lose yourself in the relationship, you can step back and recalibrate. Stoicism encourages practicing detachment, not as a means of distancing yourself from love, but as a way to preserve your emotional health and independence. You are allowed to love deeply, but you must also remain aware of your own needs, desires, and values. This allows for a deeper connection with your partner while maintaining a sense of individuality. The importance of mutual respect and personal growth in relationships. In any relationship, mutual respect is essential. Stoicism teaches us that respect is rooted in recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of others, regardless of differences or imperfections. When both partners in a relationship respect each other's autonomy and growth, the relationship fosters an environment of mutual support and emotional resilience. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of personal growth, both within and outside of relationships. In a Stoic relationship, partners are encouraged to pursue their individual goals and passions while supporting each other's growth. Rather than seeking to change the other person, Stoicism teaches us to accept them as they are while encouraging them to grow in virtue and wisdom. By doing so, both individuals can evolve as better versions of themselves, contributing to a stronger, more fulfilling relationship. In conclusion, Stoicism offers timeless wisdom for cultivating love in a way that nurtures emotional resilience and personal integrity. By applying Stoic principles such as maintaining self-awareness, establishing emotional boundaries, and fostering mutual respect, we can create relationships that are both fulfilling and healthy. Love, according to Stoicism, is not about losing oneself or compromising personal values, but about enhancing our individual growth while supporting the growth of our partner. The key to Stoic love lies in maintaining a balance between closeness and independence, understanding that both partners bring their unique qualities to the relationship. When love is grounded in Stoic virtues, it becomes a source of strength, personal growth, and emotional peace, rather than a cause of emotional turmoil or sacrifice. By incorporating these principles into your own relationships, you can build connections that are not only deeply loving, but also enriching and empowering. I encourage you to practice Stoic principles in your relationships to develop greater emotional resilience, maintain your sense of self, and cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections with those you love. Reflect on the ways in which Stoicism can transform your emotional experiences and begin applying these insights in your own life for greater fulfillment and peace.